All right, good morning, my viewers. Good morning, great lovers of football. First, I'd like to say compliments of the season. Well, I hope you enjoyed your Christmas chicken and your New Year's chicken or your jollof rice or fried rice. Well, that season has gone right now. We are back to business. You're welcome to your favorite sports program, aka that is Emac Sports, transmitting to you live from your darling station. That is Emac Online Television. Okay, well, with the World Cup season gone, we are back to our normal, leagues, fixtures, latest fixtures on ground with good results, outstanding, fantastic results. That is what we're going to right now. And looking at it, this week has been a fantastic week because it has been a week of fantastic results, surprising scores, fixtures from the Premier League, from La Liga, from Serie A, all around the globe. It has been a very, very, fantastic week. Once again, the name is Olukunle Summer Praise, aka Praise 247. Okay, now let's get down to business. In today's program, I'm going to talk about the biggest matches that we've had this week from the Premier League and across all other European leagues. And we're going to talk about now we're going to give full-time detailed match analysis of the matches like that. And first, I'm going to start with the Chelsea-Manchester City match. Looking at it right now, we saw that Manchester City eventually won the match at away because Chelsea was hosting them. Chelsea hosted Manchester City, and looking at it, the match was a very brutal and a tough one. But Manchester City emerged as the winner at the second half, and I would say the man of the match should be no any other person than Riyad Mahrez, because Riyad Mahrez netted the goal at the 63rd minute of the match, giving Manchester City the early lead of the match. But let me say, Chelsea actually tried, but I can say Manchester City were much more prepared in terms of strategy, and in terms of preparation towards this match, and they eventually ended up giving Chelsea a heavy blow by betting them 1 goal to 0. And looking at that right there, that goal was scored by Riyad Mahrez thanks to an early assist from Jack Grealish, hereby giving Manchester City the early lead. So I can say Manchester City right now are the inevitable winners of that match. Wow, because Chelsea, I actually expected a draw from them. Chelsea won, Manchester City won. That was my aspiration of the match. That was my own prediction of the match, 1-1. But it eventually became a 1-0 match. Well, I can say tough time for Chelsea, but I hope they bounce back soon. So that is that. And looking at it right here, Manchester City moved up to the second in the table next to Arsenal, having 39 points. Arsenal are the top, are always, well, looking at that, they've been maintaining their top position on the table right there, having 44 points. Although we haven't gotten much information about Arsenal yet because they are yet to have a match. Looking at it right now, the week we are in is the FA Cup week. So because there's going to be much of FA Cup matches than the Premier League matches. So Arsenal still being the number one in the league. But with this, Manchester City have maintained their leading, their leading mentality of being the second or first in the table by beating Chelsea 1 goal to 0. All right then, and the next big match I want to discuss here is Tottenham Hotspur playing away to Crystal Palace, and it's a 4 goals to 0 match. First, I would like to ask myself that why should it be Tottenham or Tottenham, because this goal is actually one-sided. 4 goals to 0. I was like, what? This is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like a much more competitive match, a much more tough match. Maybe Crystal Palace beating Tottenham Hotspur 2 goals to 0, or a 2-2 draw. But the match was four-sided, was one-sided, 4 goals to 0. But now let's go down to full match analysis. As we see right here, Harry Kane scored the first 2 goals of the match. The first goal was scored in the 48th minute of the match thanks to an assist from Ivan Perisic, the Croatian international, and the second goal was scored at the 53rd minute of the match thanks to an assist from Brian Gills. And the third goal of the match was a solo goal scored by Matt Doherty at the 68th minute, while the last goal of the match was scored by who, and that is the Korean Republic player, the Korean Republic international, to whom we all know as Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min netted the ball right in the net at the 72nd minute and it was also a solo goal, hereby giving Tottenham Hotspur the lead over Crystal Palace. And it's another heavy blow again to another team because Crystal Palace were playing home. They were the ones hosting Tottenham Hotspur, and they were the one hosting Tottenham Hotspur in the match. They brought them in as visitors. Crystal Palace were the home people, while Tottenham were the visitors. And looking at it right now, in this case, the visitors are the ones beating the homeland people. Man, it's a heavy blow for Crystal Palace because they were much more strong. They were much more stronger the last season. That was 2021-22 season. But this 2022-2023 season, they're starting to show weaklings. And the best I can say is that they should try and check their players, because I can see that some of the players right there are injury prone. And not only that alone, even in Chelsea also, the reason why Manchester City may have beaten Chelsea is one good reason. I actually discovered this last year when N'Golo Kante had a knee injury, and he's not the only one. Followed by Christian Pulisic. His own injury is unknown yet. Even the defender Aspilicueta, he has an injury, and some other players like that. Even some of these players, even Reece James, and four, like 7 other players like that are on injury right now. And these same players are the best players of the team. And if they were present in this Manchester City Chelsea match, it may have been a goalless draw, or a 1-1 draw, a 2-2 draw, or a draw, be it 3-3, 4-4, 2-2, even 5-5, or 6-6. It should have been a draw. But because these players were not present due to their injuries, well, man, I can tell you, there is likely for Chelsea to lose their match, which we saw on the match this week. So another reason why Crystal Palace may have lost this match is because most of their players were injury prone. So looking at it as a player, if there's one thing you have to check on yourself, is that if you are injury prone, you should watch your leg movements in the match. That's why I like Lionel Messi, because sometimes if you see his own style of play, he doesn't run too much on the field. Sometimes if he discovers that the ball is not moving towards the side, he will actually just walk through the field. But if he discovers that the ball is about to reach his side, he will start to gather momentum and then start to make a run pace just to catch an early pass, then to score a goal, then a net a goal for his team. So that is that for the Crystal Palace and the Tottenham Hotspur match. Now down to the next match. It's a draw here, yes, and I'm actually satisfied with this result, because Aston Villa, they are the ones I see here that are actually doing the right thing. They are defending their home stadium with pride and with everything they have against the visitors, that is Wolves, and that is a 1-1 draw. The first goal was scored by Daniel Podence, thanks to an early assist from João Moutinho, bringing the first goal opener of the match, making it 1-0, but in the second half, almost towards the end of the second half, that was at the 78th minute, the second goal was scored by Danny Ings, and that making it a 1-1 draw. Well, I can say this match now must have contained more of hustle and tussle, but they ended up with a 1-1 draw, and that is a big satisfaction for me. So that is that. And looking at the Premier League table right now, as you can see right here, Tottenham Hotspur here are in number 5 right now. They've maintained, looking at the Tottenham Hotspur, the highest they've been to in the history of the Premier League of this dispensation as of recent. They've actually reached number 3, number 2, but they haven't reached number 1 just yet. But they've actually secured UEFA Champions League qualification, and now looking at it, they've also secured their UEFA Europa League qualifications. Looking at that, so man, it's gonna be a very interesting season for Tottenham Hotspur. They may not win the trophy of the UEFA Europa League, they may not win the Premier League title, but they are gonna bring in the heat. They're gonna stir up the competition, because I can see that they are really bringing it. They're really bringing. Look at the shocking transfers. Look at the transfer they've had this year, and look at it. The greatest transfer I've seen in this team is Ivan Perisic, because if I have a player like Ivan Perisic in your team, it's just like you are adding salt, more seasoning to your food, making it more delicious for you to eat. So that's the cases for Tottenham Hotspur. They've secured number 5 in the Premier League table. And looking at it at the relegation table right now, as you can see, Everton, Wolves, and Southampton, they are the relegated teams I'm seeing. They are the relegated teams I'm seeing here. Everton here right now, we're going to go to the match, because they were also spanked by Manchester United owing to a 3-1 loss. to Manchester United. So there's going to be a later analysis on that. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, surprisingly here, well, they are also the second to the last in the table, because looking at it, they've actually lost. Looking at it, this match should have been a win-win for them, but they actually drew against Aston Villa. Aston Villa, right here, as you can see it, they have gotten up right now. They are number 11, so they have maintained their own. Stance in the Premier League table. But for Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was a big time loss, because looking at it, when you have a draw, it's likely for you guys to share 33 points. But if you win a match, you might have 3 points, 6 points, depending on the number of scores you have. If you win a match, you're going to have 3 points. They can take it 3 points higher. But if you lose a match, you can go 3 points lower. So it's a plus or minus. So let's go down to deeper match analysis. Looking at it right here, we can see that Manchester United beating. Oh, sorry. I actually said Manchester United beating Everton. Sorry. Actually, Everton was beaten by another team. But that's not my main focus of today. Manchester United beating AFC Bournemouth. Another bigger match I'm seeing right here. Wow. I can see that really Manchester United have really stirred up the heat this season. All thanks to Marcus Rashford and 2 other players like that netted the ball against AFC Bournemouth. Because I also watched the highlights earlier this week, and wow, it was a very, very interesting and intriguing. You know, when you watch a match and you see your favorite team winning, the joy unconfined will be shown there, because you begin to feeling the intensity building up in these teams, and your favorite team gaining possession, gaining the game, gaining control of the game is going to give you much more joy, because there's a high risk, high reward that they are going to win. Well, yes, as I can see it, they eventually beat Everton 3-1 also earlier this week. Yeah, thanks to Anthony, who scored at the 4th minute against That was the goal opener. Thanks to a big early assist from Marcus Rashford, and then the next goal was scored by Connor Cody, making it a 1-1 draw at the 14th minute. Then in the second half, the same Cody that netted the ball for Everton eventually got an own goal against his team, thereby making it 2-1 for Manchester United, and also a 2-1 loss to Everton. And also at the dying minute, there was also a penalty given to Manchester United owing to a foul at the box 18 side, and it eventually became a 3-1 victory to Manchester United, bringing it, looking at that, because Marcus Rashford scored at the 97th minute via a penalty. And we had the 4 yellow cards right here. The first yellow card was gotten by Bruno Fernandes, and the 3 other yellow cards were gotten from you know who. Yeah, they were gotten from Everton players. The second yellow card was given to Ben Godfrey, and the third yellow card was given to Adelaide Dokore. The 4th one was given to Amadou Onana, like that. So there were 4 yellow cards in this match, bringing, well, it's a heavy blow to Everton, a big time heavy blow. Wow, because you really need to start to struggle and work hard to get a better point. Well, look at that. As you can see, they've already highlighted, Aston Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Aston Villa actually gained stance in the Premier League table, but for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they've actually gone down the table. They are 19th in the league right now. So this 1-1 draw was a big time loss for them. And as for Crystal Palace, well, as I said, it's a heavy blow because Tottenham Hotspur beat them 4-0. And then for Manchester City, they beat Chelsea again 1-0. Well, and then for Manchester United Everton match, Manchester United, we're looking at their last meetings with Everton, they've actually brought in a very, very good match against Everton. Well, for Everton, it's a big loss to them. So I'm going to look at today's fixtures. We can see that Liverpool will face Wolves today by 9 p.m. Liverpool is going to face Wolverhampton Wanderers at 9 p.m. today in today's Premier League table. And today's La Liga Santander, we'll see Villarreal facing Real Madrid at home. I'm not saying Real Madrid are going to play home against Villarreal, because Real Madrid are going to play away. Because I'm saying Real Madrid are going to play away against Villarreal. Villarreal are going to host Madrid at 4:15 p.m. today. And we can see that Mallorca will face Real Valladolid via 6:30 p.m. And the second tier to Barcelona, that Espanyol, the Barcelona, will face against Girona. Then for the FA Cup, we can see that Crystal Palace will face against Southampton. and Forest Green Rovers against Birmingham, Leicester facing Gillingham, and well, as you can see, yeah, Liverpool also gonna have a match that day, and also we can see that Manchester City have another match again against Chelsea. Well, I can say it's another chance for Chelsea to bring the redemption, to prove the redemption, to bring a kind of rebound against Manchester City for their loss against Manchester City on the league, because they also have a FA Cup fixture against Manchester City again. Then we can see that also in for AC Milan they're gonna face Roma at Copa del Rey, and also FC Barcelona we're gonna face Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano, like that. So look, that's for Copa del Rey and FA Cup. So for La Liga Santander, another fixture you're gonna see that Almeria are gonna face Real Sociedad at 4 p.m. Looking at that at own time. Then at 4:15, whatever Vallecano will face Real Betis. Then 6:30 p.m. we'll see that Sevilla are gonna face Getafe. Getafe. Then also, yes, like I said before, Atletico are gonna host Barcelona at the Wanda Metropolitano. Looking like that. So that is that. So I can see that if you've enjoyed today's program, you can, if you have any descriptions, if you have any suggestions about these matches, about these fixtures, you can actually text it right there at the comment section below. If you have anything to say about these fixtures, your own predictions of on the forthcoming your own predictions on the forthcoming fixtures in all these matches, you can write it down there in the comment section below. And if you have anybody or you have any business to advertise, you can see our phone numbers right there, scrolling down there on the screen right there. So that is that. And not only that alone, if you also want to reach out to us via our social media handles, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever. You can reach out to us like that if you have any other ideas or you have something that can bring to bless us right here. And not only that alone, if you also want to advertise any of your products, you have something to to add to the company, you want to bring in your best, you want to bring in your ideas, you can also you can bring in more of these things on these social media platforms that have been mentioned to you right now. And if in case you don't understand, they're also scrolling down there on the screen. You can see right there the phone numbers are there, the WhatsApp phone numbers are there. The YouTube platform is there, the Facebook platform is there, Instagram, and other social media handles that you can reach out to us. So I hope this program has blessed you, and I hope this program has also brought an update to which you now know where your favorite team now lies. You know where your team is, you know where your team stands, and as a fan, you can pray for your team to win the title or to win a cup, either to win the FA Cup or the Copa del Rey, Champions League, Europa League, or winning a title in their respective leagues. So once again, the name is Olukunle Praise, aka Praise 247.